that you need to ask yourself, what is the event that causes you the greatest concern? Or another way to put that is, what event are you the most concerned with? What keeps you awake at night? Okay, whatever that is, that's the event that this plan should be for first. Okay, now once you have a plan, there are parts of that plan that may be able to be transferred into other events. Okay, but focus only on one event, and whatever that event is, it should be the one that is of the greatest concern to you or your family. My philosophy is to plan for the worst and pray for the best. So I always, whatever the worst potential outcome of an event is what I consider. Okay, so we'll use the snowstorm scenario and for this as well. So, gotta love coffee. So a snowstorm. All right, so I have had 2 to 3 weeks worth of food. Okay, so what is the worst possible thing that could happen? All right, so the worst possible thing is, first off, that I get enough snow that prevents me from being able to get out to resupply. Okay, now, assuming that I have, well, first off, so second thing is I lose power. Okay, because if I lose power, then I lose a lot of other things. I lose often the time or the ability to heat or cook. I'm going to lose water. So that means I won't be able to clean, shower, drink. So let's assume that I have a secondary source. So I have like propane, gas, something, even a generator. Okay, so if those supplies run out and the storm is still continuing, then what am I going to do? Okay, if I only have 2 weeks worth of stuff, this is where things start to get crazy because, yes, you can get into a rabbit hole that is crazy. But you really need to realistically think through what are the potentials that can do. So in a snowstorm, one of the very real possibilities is that you will lose electricity. Okay, depending on how bad that snowstorm is, if you get more than 24 inches worth of snow, it's going to be a while before that stuff gets moved. If you get significantly more amounts than that, say 30 to 40 inches of snow, you're going to be stuck for at least a week or two. Easy. Okay. Now, another very real event that is a potential, especially today, is a trucker strike, because there's a lot of talk about the truckers going on strike, or the independent truckers going on strike. Supposedly in April, I think, is what they're shooting for right now. That's the last word I got. So if this happens, this snowstorm happens anywhere in that April timeframe, now not only do you not only have snow, but you also have the potential that stores themselves will not be able to be resupplied. If a snowstorm is forecasted, you can almost bet that store shelves are going to be wiped out before that snowstorm happens. Okay. If on top of that, you also then get this trucker strike, or this snowstorm impacts distribution centers, and they're not able to get that stuff. And it's potentially going to be even longer, even once the snow is cleared, for stores will be able to get resupplied, which then would allow you to resupply. Okay, so those are some things that can really happen, that can really impact you. And if you only have 2 weeks worth of food, what are you going to do? You know, that's why for almost any natural event or natural disaster, I recommend that you have at least 2 months worth of stuff on hand in your house. Okay. And, we'll talk about some of these things, but I want to make sure that I get some of this stuff out. Um, if, if, um, if you don't have the 2 months worth of stuff, how do you get there? Well, you buy a little more every time you go to the store. You don't go out and buy 6 months worth of food. Okay. The ultimate goal would be to have at least a year's worth of supplies. Okay. Because if a really significant event occurs, then having this additional um, resources is going to help you. So let's talk for a moment about why do you buy the supplies? What is the purpose of these supplies? Supplies give you a buffer before you have to do this on your own. Okay. In most cases, we have the event, it goes through, and eventually we return back to quote unquote normal. That means the distribution chain works. People are able to resupply the grocery stores and the hardware stores and the Lowe's and the Home Depots and all these things. And you then can go to these retail outlets and are able to purchase stuff. Okay, so basically you can resupply and things go back to the way they were before. Thing is, in the event that something happens that is a very long duration, okay, so like you get into a stuff has hit the fan kind of scenario, or the end of the world as you know it kind of scenario, at some point you will have to start to take care of yourself. You're going to have to become self-reliant. That means you are going to have to either grow your own food, make your own stuff, clothes, tools, cooking utensils, eating utensils, furniture, shelters. All of that stuff is stuff that you're going to have to build yourself, or you're going to have to barter with somebody in order to get it. And I've talked about this before. Me and clothes, I can make them, but they ain't going to be pretty. There are people out there who can make them and make them look pretty. So, for me, I'm the growing kind of guy. I can build the shelters. I can grow food. I can hunt. I can raise food. So I would trade that stuff for clothes and for footwear. And that's why I say one person can't be everything. They can, and there are exceptions, but typically that's not the case. Okay, and when you're foraging, it takes a lot of acreage in order to forage your own food. Okay, whether it's hunting, picking berries, whatever. Now, in the case of this snowstorm, it's winter. So that means that, food isn't growing out naturally in the woods. The trees have all lost their fruits and nuts and stuff. The berries and other things are usually not there. Some of the root type stuff like wild garlic, wild carrots and stuff, you still might be able to get, but because it's winter, it's typically cold, and the ground is frozen. So getting to those items is going to be difficult. So, a snowstorm is not something to be taken lightly because, as I said, it's also typically cold, and if the power is out, then most people who have furnaces won't have heat. Now, if you've got a fireplace or other backup supplies,